Hello, 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 hello. Oh, okay. Um, whoa, okay. Um, Hi guys. Uh, so the funniest thing happened right now. Um, yeah, so I just realized the previous stream actually did not include any sound at all. Even though it was showing there was, like kind of sound. Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, just forget it. So yeah, I'm kind of like redoing the Hangout because I don't want to skip a week on any Hangout. This is Hangout number 13. So yeah, just yeah, we're not going to skip any Hangouts. So anyway, I'm just going to redo it quickly. Um, yeah, it's like a worst case scenario kind of thing. But anyway, let's just get over with. Um, so Hangout 13 is supposed to be about building a Leaf MVC for application quickly. Just something small. We had a suggestion from this one about building a simple dashboard, mini blog, something like that. So let's just do that. We're going to build a blog, a sample blog. That just lists out a bunch of posts, and then we can interact with the posts. I don't know if I'll add like a update and a delete section, but for the most part, we would basically just do um we'll just list a bunch of posts and then I don't know, just work backwards from there. So I actually had this what I built on the previous stream. I don't know if I probably deleted it, maybe. Yeah. So I'm just going to do that from scratch. Just to give you an idea of what you can expect when Leaf MVC 4 is released. It will be released this evening. So for me it's evening. I'm on GMT 0, so um it's 6 p.m. for me. So I mean like later after the stream, an alpha version of Leaf MVC version 4 would be released. So if you don't know about Leaf MVC 4, um basically Leaf MVC 4 is version 4 of Leaf MVC. Where you can check out. You can check out by the way. It's the Leaf MVC repo version 4.x. They can actually just check that out. Um yeah. So we're going to test this out today. But before that, since I'm actually kind of like redoing everything, we had a bunch of releases. We had a bunch of releases this week. So I'll just kind of like gloss over them. Kind of feels weird doing this again since I've kind of done it. Um, but anyway, let's just kind of gloss through it. So Leaf HTTP had a new addition. Um, So you can kind of override your ACTP method. If it's like a get, you can change it to a put, a patch, something different using this header. Or if you are in a form, you can use underscore method to change like a post to a put or something like that. So that's new for Leaf HTTP. And then Patrick Vanos and Levy, who is a new contributor by the way, fixed up a little issue where Leaf would throw an error if you try to use an unofficial AGP status. Wasn't a big deal, it was kind of like an edge case. But then sometimes you would want to use an unofficial code and then actually return something. So you wouldn't want Leaf to throw an error there. So um, they fixed up this issue. Thank you guys. Um, Leaf itself also got a little patch, just a tiny patch. So we added an attach view method directly to the app class, so you don't have to do that elsewhere, like on the config class. No new, that's not a new feature. It's not, it doesn't break anything, but it's pretty, it's pretty nice to have. Sorry, I was just a bit worried about the sound. Yeah. Um. Okay, but I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. Next, we have version 3.4 of Leaf. This one brought in a bunch of new features. And this feature, by the way, was kind of carried directly from Paper Plane. So you probably know or do not know that I'm building a starter kit for Leaf MVC 4, which is Paper Plane. But yeah, sometimes I find nice features that would be kind of nice to bring back to Leaf. And this is one of them. So all of the verification, like verifying your email, a user's email. So yeah, we got a bunch of new auth middleware, auth verified, auth unverified that you can use to protect your routes from unverified users. Um, you can use this to generate a user token, and then the cool thing is it's a JWT. So yeah, people actually have mixed feelings about user verification using a JWT, but if you've been following Leaf for a while, you probably know we don't like messing with user databases. Basically, we don't like messing with your databases, um, because unlike things like Laravel, where they can actually be opinionated and tell you exactly what you're supposed to do, like they can give you dummy migrations and all of those. Leaf has both Leaf and then Leaf MVC, and while we can do that for Leaf MVC, we can't exactly do that for Leaf. So then we try to keep the database stuff to as minimal as possible. Um, so this generate verification token uses a JWT, so we can skip all of that. You create a database table for your tokens, and then you do your verification from there. So basically, we eliminate that table. We don't work your database. We do, but we don't work with a whole new database table because the JWT is actually powerful enough to take care of all of that stuff. So generate verification token just generates a new JWT with its own secret key, user details, and all that stuff. Um, yeah, so once that verification token is sent here, so let me just show you an example from Paper Plane. So this is an example. Let me just pull up, um, I think, our auth mailer. So this is an example where we generate a user verification token and then we send it in an email. And then when the user clicks on the link in the email, we get a token from the request. And then we verify that token using auth verify token. And then if it's all good, we then use auth user verify email to actually verify the email. So this whole system runs on an email verified at failed. So email verified at failed. So if you look at Leaf MVC, the user migration in Leaf MVC 4, that's the user schema file comes with this by default. But then if you're using Leaf Core, we have no idea how you structure your database. So whenever you run verify email, we check if you have that field. If you don't have it, we create it. And that's how the whole verification system works. So basically, you don't need to set anything up yourself. If you do, that's great. If you don't, we'll just set it up for you. So yeah, we are just kind of like keeping we do everything so you don't have to do them yourself, and so that Leaf auth can work the same in Leaf and in Leaf MVC. So it's kind of like a similar thing we did to roles and permissions. So it works. Roles and permissions work exactly the same way in Leaf and in Leaf MVC. So like that's the whole idea. Um, that's like one of the major reasons why we do this slightly different. Um, with roles and permissions, for instance, we didn't have like a user roles table where we map like users and roles, and then we have like permissions table. We kind of do all of that stuff internally inside Leaf Auth. Um, I mean, it ended up being faster. It ended up being more performance, but that was never actually really the goal. So yeah, this is an example. In this case, for my verification, what I did with Paper Plane, the user is logged in during the verification. But then of course that's not compulsory. You can do something like auth, yikes, auth user, auth find. which will return the user to you. So from there, you can do something like auth find, and then you verify email basically. So there's no need to actually have the user logged in. It just depends on what you want to do. Leaf doesn't really enforce anything on you. So yeah, there's that. There's that. Um, so verify token, auth user verify, and then auth user is verified. All of those are just in relation to email verification. So basically, that's a new feature Leaf got. This was last week, but then after our hangout, so I didn't really get to talk about it. But this is just a little tiny thing because on our hangout last week, Composer was installing the wrong version of stuff, and that's a trend I've kind of like noticed the whole week. But it's partly because Leaf MVC uses some Laravel and Symfony stuff, and then Laravel and Symfony are kind of PHP 8 only right now. So having different dependency versions, because like Laravel would want to install a PHP 8 only version of something, but then Leaf wants the older version, which is like PHP 7, PHP 8, or maybe only PHP 7 or something like that. So yeah, composers to find like some middle ground. So it was installing very old dependencies. So last week I installed version 1.1 of MVC core instead of version 1.11. Yeah. So that happened. That was what was causing the error. I didn't notice it because 1 and 11 pretty much look the same. So um yeah, that was pretty annoying, but I had to release a new version to kind of force that to work. So yeah, we have that and it works fine now. So yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Um yeah, so basically those are the old stuff from this week, actually, not last week. From this week. That's what we've been up to this week. Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. So those are our updates. Um, so we can get on with working on Leaf MVC for now. Leaf MVC. Okay. So yeah, once again, you can view all of the updates to Leaf MVC on this repo v4.x. Yeah, basically just has everything you need. Okay. So to build with this, we can actually just use Composer. I'm going to pull up my terminal, which I already had open because, as I mentioned, I kind of already built this. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to dot. Um, I think I'll just remove it. So the name of our previous project was Bed Blog. Oh right, I'm not able to do that. Okay, Bed Blog. Because it's a little tiny blog we're building. This time I'll name it Tiny Blog just because it's a tiny blog. Okay, so bed blog, um, tiny blog. Okay, so basically, Composer creates project, leaf MVC v4.x dev to get the version 4.x developer branch who we are using here. So this particular one, and then we run this. It sets up tiny blog, sets up all our dependencies. Hopefully, the right versions this time. Yeah. Okay, okay. I mean, it looks promising right now. Looks promising. Doesn't look like it got any wrong version. So we cd into tiny blog, tiny blog. Oh, the like, tiny blog. Okay, I really do need to start deleting all of the dummy projects I created. I've been creating a lot of dummy projects for like over the past couple of weeks, and my system is just flooded with like test projects. Anyway, I'll just open this up in VS Code as usual. Um, I hope nobody has any comments like, why don't you use PHP Storm? I did try PHP Storm. JetBrains was actually supporting Leaf, like giving us a whole year of free PHP Storm, WebStorm for like JavaScript stuff, and a few more things. I tried PHP Storm, but then I've been using VS Code since forever. and it's just kind of difficult to switch to something new, even if it's better. So that's kind of stuck with VS Code. Anyway, so Leaf MVC 4, this is what you get. README, um, composer stuff. I get to ignore your env files. Um, Basically composer stuff again. Public, but we don't really have to do anything with our public folder unless we have images or anything. Um, Otherwise, we can just ignore the public folder. And then we have our app folder. So in our app folder, we have our sorry. So we have our controllers, our database stuff, which in this case is just schema files. So two files, users and password resets. This is a blog. We don't need password resets for anything, so I'll just get rid of that. And then we have our models. This over here is a base model. So if you have some function that should be available in all of your models, you can just drop that in here, and then every other model will just have that. So that's what it does. That's why it's here. It's not like any special feature or anything like that. You have your routes. I'm going to just add a new one here, blog.php. Um, yeah, let's just keep that there. And then you have the views, which are your front-end files. Okay. So over here, we'd want to do stuff real quick. So I'll just pull up my terminal and first things first, we want to generate authentication. So that'll be PHP leaf scaffold auth. And then that'll, do all of the stuff. It installs leaf auth because we actually don't have leaf auth here. Wait, and then it scaffolds authentication first. Authentication generated successfully. So yeah, basically that's scaffold auth. So when we check our files now, we should have scaffold auth, which have like auth pages. Next thing I want to do is to use Tailwind. So I don't know if you noticed this, but we no longer ship Vite and all of that. We don't add them by default because yeah, once again, we don't know what you're doing with your application. We have no idea what we are doing with what you're doing with your application. Could be an API, could be something else, who knows? It could even be a full stack application, but then you wouldn't want to use Tailwind or anything like that. So basically, we just leave that for you to set up. So if I want to add Tailwind, which in this case I actually want to do, I can PHP leaf and I'll say view install. So this command is actually also available in version 3 of Leaf. So view install Tailwind. I install Tailwind. It sets up everything for me. It downloads Vite, downloads Tailwind, sets up my node modules, JavaScript stuff. And then Tailwind file. So like the Tailwind config, um, those other stuff, post CSS and all of that. So basically all of that happens with view install. So that's done. You see it's setting up Leaf server bridge, that's Vite, installing Vite and all of that stuff. So now that's done. And we're back to having Vite in our project. So the whole idea of like removing it in the first place was we don't want to crowd you with all of this. Imagine like installing a fresh project and you have all of these files in there. I mean, these are not a lot of files to some people, but to me, this is a lot of files. So, depending on what your project is meant to do, you might not even need all of this stuff. Anyway, so now we have Vite installed, we have Tailwind installed, we can PHP leaf serve, and then it starts two servers because we have Vite and then Tailwind. So we have Vite and then PHP. So it runs Vite, it runs PHP, and yeah. So let's just pull this up. Let's see what we get in our browser. Basic Leaf MVC stuff. But we've already installed authentication. So we can just head over to our views index and I'm going to switch to Tailwind. So I can do that using this. So I can just get rid of all of this and then switch here. And then there's a top nav which has been commented out. Since I have authentication installed, I can. Oh right, I don't even have my database set up. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that. So here's one fun thing, right? Leaf MVC4 is actually supposed to set up your database for you if you just head over to your EMV and then maybe like tiny blog and then root. Yeah, but then unfortunately I didn't push that out. So currently it won't set it up for me. I still have to set it up myself, which is a little bit of an annoyance. But um yeah, let's just deal with that for now. So I can say tiny blog create. And I don't need to do anything with it. Um so with like by the time the alpha version is out, you wouldn't need to do all of that stuff. You just PHP leave DB migrate and it will create all of that for you. So yeah. All I need to do now, I can PHP leave DB migrate. But before that, we need to create our project. Oh, by the way, so if any module needs any folder that doesn't exist, it will create it automatically. So yeah. Hmm. So we have our storage folder back because Blade needs it. So we created it. So that's something you may notice. Um, but yeah, this is something you're not pushed to get or any other thing like that. It's just meant for your system only. Yeah, so database stuff, we have our users, but we want to add one more for blog. So I'll name that post or YML. Actually, I don't need to create this like that. I can PHP leaf g schema post, and then it has the post file for me. So I mean, you can create it yourself. You can use a terminal, anything that works for you. Okay, so we are going to have seeds just for like dummy stuff. Um, you're supposed to be able to use relationships like this, but then unfortunately, I wasn't able to test it before the stream, so I have no idea if it works. Just to make our lives easier, I'll get rid of all of that stuff and let's just create stuff. So a blog post has a title, which is a string. Um, yeah, since we removed the relationships, we would have to add like user ID, an integer. Okay, title, body. We can make that a text for more text. And schema files add yes over here. Schema files add auto increments and timestamps by default, so you don't have to add them yourself. So basically, this on its own is a perfectly good schema file. Um, okay, it's a perfectly good schema file. So integer string text, timestamps are created for us, increments are created for us, so we don't need to do anything there. We don't need seeds right now. We'll need them later, but for now, this is pretty much all that we need. So we check users. We have name, email, string, unique, blah blah blah, default stuff. Okay. So now I can PHP leave, PHP leave, db migrate, and the db migration on posts the YML and whatnot the YML. So when we check in our database now, we have posts and users, and it's exactly what we set in our schema file. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so post YML, he says YML. Now we just need to restart our server. So PHP leave serve. And okay, our servers are running. And okay, looks good. Looks like everything is good. So yeah, what do we need to do now? Now we just need to set up our user account. Oh, right, this again. So there's another thing which has changed. By the way, the whole UI for Leaf MVC4 has changed. By the time the alpha comes out, it's just tonight for me. I don't know your time zones, but for me tonight, it's almost 7 p.m. Wow. So yeah, like later tonight, Leaf MVC4 alpha, an alpha release will be out, and it comes with like new UIs and all of that stuff. So the authentication pages will be different from what you're seeing here right now. But anyway, we can fix this tiny issue because Leaf MVC doesn't ship with a lot of modules. It ships with like a very minimal setup, and then you have to get them yourself. But as you saw, we have commands to literally do everything for you. So it's not like you have to do anything from scratch. Anyway, so the problem we have now is this, but then Leaf Blade has this CSRF 10 that just, first of all, it checks if CSRF is installed. If it's not installed, it just kind of skips over it. So yeah, that's, if you ever run into that problem, not that you will, I don't think you'll ever run into that problem, but if you do run into that problem, that's how you solve it. Just switch to CSRF. Okay, so we can just do this. I don't want to do blah 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 blah, and then we can test in 1 2 3, test in 1 2 3. Okay, so yeah, our user has been created successfully. We check in our users table and we have our user there, basically. Yeah, so we're logged in. We're logged in now. But what do we need to do? What exactly do we need to do? So by the way, what we're seeing here is our home. We can kind of like get rid of all of this. Put a hello there. And I need to refresh. Okay. So we're going to make a few changes because we need VITs on our pages. So we have VITs here, but then we have two more layouts. We have our auth layout. We actually don't need it there. And then we have our dashboard layout. So we can replace this with blades directive at V and there. So it works the same, but now we have tailwind and we have what's that? Oh, by the way, we also have a directive for Alpine. I don't know if Laravel's Blade has this, but Leaf Blade has it. If it's just a quick way to include Alpine on your pages if you want like a little dynamic UI or anything like that. Okay, so I think we're good. We're good. So now if I make this hello world, it refreshes automatically. Okay, good. Okay. So what do we need to do now? We need to create a blog post. For this, I'll use seeds. I'll use seeds. And that's what we have here. So basically, seeds are a way to generate dummy data. Leaf seeds use Faker. So in this case, I want to generate a dummy title, and a dummy title would be, by the way, this is the syntax, this is the actual syntax for it. So it's like faker dot whatever you want to use. In this case, it's like sentence. So faker sentence, and then I want to do one more for body. That would be at faker dot I've forgotten what this one is. Okay, we have to search for this. No questions. Okay, no questions yet. By the way, if you have any questions, please put them down. I'll check them out. Let's see. Faker. I think I actually searched for this before. This sucks. Funny how I don't remember anything. So I saw something here. I think it was like Faker. Faker paragraph. Someone had answered a question here like that. I think Faker sentence or maybe Faker paragraph. Let me just go with Faker paragraph. Okay. So by the way, the faker I keep mentioning is faker PHP. I think faker PHP slash faker or something like that. Yeah. So if you want to generate anything that's like a long list of things you can generate, like faker words, faker, literally anything, sentence. So the way you use it with Leaf is, by the way, it's already included with Leaf MVC, so you don't have to install it and do anything. You just at faker dot whatever function you want to use, if it's sentence, faker dot sentence, like this, and then that's all. So we have our title, we have our body, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to seed the post table. Oh wait, I left one thing. I'm going to user ID because our posts are tied to a user, unfortunately. So I'm setting this to the first user who signed up, which in this case is me. So user ID 1. And I'm going to generate, how many should I generate? Maybe 10? 10 big posts. Okay, so let's run this. We can run this with PHP Leaf DB seed. And in this case, I want to run only one file. I want to run seeds on only posts, not, like all of the files. So I can specify the table name, which is also the file name. So PHP Leaf DB seed with a table name, which is post, and then post the YML seeded successfully. So if I take a look in my DB now, where do I even find you? Tiny blog post, and I have 10 big posts available. So yeah, looks good. Looks good. Um okay, back here. So now what we want to do is view list all of the posts that we just generated. So for this, I'll need to generate, first of all, I'll need to generate a model because we're using MVC, the M in MVC, which is kind of like all of our database stuff, which we are going to use should be tied to a model. Actually, I'm thinking, nah, that's going too far. Never mind. Never mind. I didn't think of anything. Um, cool. So I can PHP leaf G model post to generate a post model, and we don't need to touch it. Not now. We can just leave it exactly as it is. And da, 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 da. We have a dashboard controller, which is for now just output our home screen, what we see here. But what we want to do is use our post model to sort of list all of the posts available. So we can do something like this, and we say posts, and this is going to be post, actually post. Post, we just import stuff from app models post all, and nothing should happen. But we have our posts available in our UI now. So if I go back to home, we can be for each, and then we'll say post as post, and down here we can just h2 hello. I'm actually not going to put anything there, so we should see 10 hellos here, which works. So I'm going to do just a little styling, just a little bit. We're going to have like a grid. Grid calls maybe 3. Yeah, we're not making it responsive. We don't care about the mobile guys. Okay. Basically, yeah, this is what we're going to have. So now we'll have what did I do? Grid calls, not call. So yeah, 3. Okay. So now we want to display a card for our post, and yeah, unfortunately, Blade components don't work with like Laravel Blade components. How you have like an X component that doesn't work with Leaf yet, unfortunately. Um, Probably in a later version of Blade would have that working, because technically you can get to working with Leaf. It's just a lot of work. But anyway, I'm going to say block card .blade.php, and no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have what should our card be? Border gray 300 or 400. I don't know. Dot rounded dot e4 hello. Actually, there's not a hello. So to use this, we can just at include. Yeah, it's not as fun as using like X components, but it works. It still works. So we have this here. We would want to maybe give like a little gap, like a gap 2. Okay. So yeah, now most of our work is going to be inside our blog card because we have to display our blog stuff. I'm going to make this at 300 by the way, and then just um like a rounded LG. Okay, better. On H2, and we're going to say post title. Um, title. Eesh, why the typing gets so difficult. Okay, and then we're going to have a P and say post body. Okay, basically. So now we have that. Let's just make this a bit. We can have like a font bold or a font semi bold, semi bold. Okay, cool, cool stuff. Yeah. So pretty much we're able to display our blog posts and stuff just like that. Um, I was so tempted to stop here. Um, anyway, so yeah, this is the idea. If you're wondering where post came from here because we set post, you can actually include components with kind of like scope variables. So that's what we're using for the post. Um, okay. If by the way, if you're wondering if you're kind of surprised that there's not much which is new in Leaf MVC 4, that's the whole point. Leaf MVC 4, kind of like everything new in Leaf MVC 4 over the past couple of weeks has been kind of brought back to version 3. So if you're up to date on version 3, there's almost nothing new besides the schema files. I think the schema files are like the only thing which should look new to you. Um, yeah. Uh, let's see, are there any questions? 3B, it works with Blade. Leaf installer is not working. A component. Oh right, a component works. Yeah, that's true. Component actually works. Um, right. Component works. So you can actually use components. Yeah, but I've never really tried to do that. Anyway, um, okay, Leaf installer is not working. That also has to do with another of the blade stuff. Sorry, another of the what do you even call those? Symfony and Laravel components we use. So the CLI, uh, um, yeah. Looks like my microphone has died on me. My microphone has actually worked extra hard today because um, wait, given yeah, sorry, can you actually post the error there? That would actually be a big help. Yeah. I had to switch. My microphone died on me. It's worked extra hard today, so please forgive my microphone. Um, okay. Yeah. I think the whole idea of doing this was to kind of give an idea of what it's like working with Leaf MVC 4. I have kind of achieved that, so I don't know if I should continue with this or not. Because I mean, besides the schema files and the new commands and all of those things, there's not much which has changed. So, um, yeah. Franklin, your issue on Windows, yeah, please do post the issue. I think that would help fix it faster. By the way, are you on Discord? If you're not on Discord, you can join in there. It's much easier to help you with Discord. I don't think YouTube's live chats would be like a good place to post issues. So, um, yeah, please join Discord if you already haven't. The link should be somewhere here. Um, okay, I don't know if I can post links in the live chat. Okay. Um, yeah. So you can join. Yeah. I'm actually also surprised. I didn't expect it to be that smooth, but that's kind of like the whole point to Leaf MVC. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been removing as much friction as possible, for like the most basic things. So, yeah, it's gotten a whole lot better. And then the performance of Leaf MVC itself has also gotten a whole lot better. So, yeah, it's much better than it was last year. And then I promise the alpha version will be out tonight. So that's also like way better than what you're seeing now. Um, yeah, what you're seeing now has a lot of version 3 stuff mixed in there because I didn't push the latest MVC core version. But there are a lot of tiny improvements, and it's so fun. It's actually so fun to use. Um, yeah. Okay. I don't know if there's any other thing you guys want to try or any questions you guys have, because this is pretty much our dummy application. Um, we set up our schema files, we worked our database migration, seeding, all of that stuff. We installed Tailwind, even though we didn't have Vita installed, and it's all worked beautifully. Yeah, I don't know if there's any other thing you guys want to try. Yeah, Paper Plane is supposed to be out. Um, when is that? Today's 15, 17th. So hopefully next week, because I wanted to push out the alpha version of Leaf MVC 4 so people could try it first before sort of doing that with Paper Plane. By the way, I think now would be kind of like a good time to sort of show what's going on with Paper Plane. So let me PHP leave serve. Actually, I think I have to stop the server first. Okay. Wait, no, this. Yeah, this is what happens when you have so many projects open at the same time. I kind of always struggle with this. So, yeah, let me just PHP leave serve. And okay, so this is paper plane. There are a lot of files with paper plane because there's just a whole lot. Paper plane actually gives you like a whole lot. With my server running. Okay, my server is running. There we go. Thank you, Terry. Um, let's see. Uh, okay. Basically, this is what you have. But then the really fun thing about paper plane is, so I don't know if you guys are like me, but I kind of hate working on UIs when I'm kind of actually building a project. So paper plane sort of has like different sections for you to try. So if you don't like how one section looks, you can just sort of swap it out for another, which is why there are like so many different um page sections and templates and all of that stuff, just so you don't need to build a UI yourself. I mean, obviously, you would have to kind of, I think there was like a Hero 7. I think that's the latest I was working on, or Hero 6. Um, Basically, the idea is to have your UI for you so you don't have to do any of that stuff yourself. I think this one was for a shop, so you could kind of like do a title and a description or something like that, if I remember right. Yeah, a description and then yeah, something like that. So there are like lots of different sections for like heroes and all of those, and then there are full templates for like if you want a storefront. So this is like an example store. There's like wait list templates. This is not done by the way. Pre-order templates. Basically just a lot of stuff so you don't have to build things yourself. That's like the whole idea. And then besides that, you have lots and lots of goodies, authentication with let me sign out. You have login with Google, login with GitHub, um, user verification, all of that stuff done for you. Database stuff using LeafDB, ORMs, Eloquent, billing with Easy. This is an example. This was set up using this particular file. So basically, all you need to do is just add things you want people to pay for, and you can have like a monthly price, you can have a yearly price, and then Leaf will automatically sort that stuff out, create all of what you need to create on Stripe for you. So you basically don't need to do all of that stuff yourself, and then generate a payments link so you can just click on stuff to buy, kind of. So yeah, basically there's a lot that's been done for people playing. Has support for like emails. I was testing Mailtrap for like email confirmation and SEO stuff, and then a lot of examples. You saw some of those examples. So basically, yeah, that's the idea with people playing. Basically, just a lot of stuff for you, so you don't have to build them from scratch. Yeah. So that's like a little people playing demo. There's still a lot more to do, but hopefully by the end of next week, we'll be able to demo something more meaningful. Um, yeah. Franklin, I don't know if you got back. But you can always reach out. I'm online on Discord right now, so you can always just reach out with your issue. Um, I don't know why it would be a Windows specific issue. I mean, Windows has always actually given me issues. Windows is just annoying. But yeah, if you have any issues, you can just let me know. Um, yeah. Um, do you guys have any more questions? Anything to add? Anything I missed? Um, yeah, you can just let me know. You can just let me know if I missed anything. Um, okay. Da, da. Let's see. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys caught the SpaceX rocket launch yesterday. That was pretty cool. Second catch attempt and catch success. That actually kept me up all night. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like there's any other thing to add. So yeah, I think I can end today's hangout. Um, So tonight we'll have Leaf MVC 4 Alpha, which you can try for yourselves. Yeah. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, guys. It's always fun to hang out with you. So I'll catch you next week. Have a great weekend.